Hey, this is Patty from As It Is, and this is Antihero Online.
It's Warped Tour 2018. This is the last cross-country run of the tour. How are you guys feeling, and how are you kind of holding up with the demand of the tour?
I think every band you're going to talk to today is going to be feeling it. This is day 19 of a 20-day stretch.
Everybody has been saying that.
So my body and my mind are pretty burnt out right now. It's starting to feel a lot like Groundhog Day, where it's just kind of like, I don't feel like I exist in the real world anymore. It's kind of like living in like Springfield or something, but it's like, it's been fun. It's been really fun. It's been my favorite Warped Tour of the two that we've done, but it's so cool to just be like even just a small part of such an iconic and like historic festival in this scene.
And talking about the history of Warped Tour, how does it make you guys feel to be on the last cross-country run?
I don't know if I like fully appreciated like how sentimental it is to so many people. I mean, like we had friends who were photographers coming out when we like headlined our stage, played last in the day. It was like so many photographers were like, you got to know how like much it means that you were like the last band we shot on this stage. I've been shooting this stage for over 10 years, and it's just like I don't know if I appreciated the like significance of that. But I mean, Warped Tour, like you can't exist in this scene and not know about and love Warped Tour. And like my favorite thing about Warped Tour is like even the bands out here are still just like fans of some of their favorite bands, and like we're all just kind of like living and appreciating Warped Tour together. So it's something really special that's going to be missed.
And one of the things that I talked to about with a lot of the bands is the fact that this gave people an opportunity to kind of discover new music.
Yeah.
The rising artists got their chance and their spot on Warped Tour.
Yeah.
Got discovered, and it kind of catapulted them to the next level. What void do you think that is going to leave in the industry now that Warped Tour isn't going to be doing what it's been doing?
Yeah, I mean, there's new technology and new platforms to discover new bands. Most notably, you're going to have like Spotify and Apple Music, but there's nothing, like you don't get the same experience of like discovering a band on stage, watching those musicians, and like connecting with that live music experience. That was always the best thing about Warped Tour. It was about seeing your favorite bands, yes, but discovering your new favorite band. And whilst you can do that on Spotify, on Apple Music, it's not the same. It's not the same. You can't talk to that singer or that drummer at their merch tent the same way that you can at Warped Tour. And that's the thing I think that's going to be most missed about Warped Tour.
And how do you think, as an industry, we fill the void that's going to be left?
That's interesting. I mean, it takes losing something to know what you had and how much you missed that thing and how much it meant to the scene, how important it was to up-and-coming bands. So I'm looking forward to seeing if there's like a reincarnation of Warped Tour in the future, whether it's like Warped Festival or like a tri-state kind of Warped Tour, an East Coast or West Coast or whatever, or if somebody else steps in and tries to, I don't know, do a new interpretation of Warped Tour. Who knows? I'm just excited to see what that is, yeah.
And do you think that it could lead to package tours? Like friends that you make along the way through Warped Tour, you guys go on the road together and kind of do your own little Warped Tour type tour.
I mean, I can already say like that's going to happen with us in the future. It has in the past. Bands that you meet and just kind of like love and discover on Warped Tour, you want to bring them out and share them with your demographic and new countries, and it's such a cool experience. And yeah, like Warped is really the only place to do that.
And before we hopped on camera, we were talking about the new record that you guys got coming out.
Yeah.
Where were you guys at musically when you went into the studio to start working on this record?
We had most of the record written. We did a little bit of writing in the studio. We did the record with a producer called Machine in Dripping Springs, Texas, in the middle of nowhere. It was amazing. You like showered outside. You lived in like a travel trailer, and you like cooked, you like barbecued and like deer just everywhere. It was awesome. And it was it's a real musical departure for us, but I think like at its core it's still an As It Is record fundamentally, but it's more ambitious, it's more dark, it's our like heaviest, most aggressive record we've done, and it's been pretty well received so far, so I'm looking forward to releasing it in 2 weeks, which is crazy. It's just been like our baby for a long time, so yeah.
And how important was it for you guys as a band to kind of push yourselves to that next level and show the progression throughout your musical career?
It really was, man. I mean, like more than ever, I didn't want to write this third record doing anything safe, doing anything predictable, and it's why we went with the producer that we did. Loving our past producers, it would have been too safe. We would have known the process too well. We would have known the songs we'd be leaving the studio with the vibe and the aesthetic and all this stuff. And it was really like, let's give ourselves no safety net. Firstly, let's embrace that we're a rock band. Like, we love this scene. We love the alternative music scene. We love Warped Tour. And I feel like there's a lot of bands right now that, don't listen to rock music as much as they used to. And that shows in their own music and their own kind of aspirations, and we're like, we love it here. This is the only scene where we belong. This is the only genre of music that's like meant this much to me since I was 10. So let's really be proud of being a rock band, and let's write a brave rock record. So that's, yeah.
And how important was it for you guys to kind of remove that safety net? And what type of feelings were you kind of going into with this whole experience, not having that safety of past producers and someone that might drive you to a level that you might not experience?
It was intense. It really was. I mean, you need to let that fear drive you instead of kind of hold you back. When you're looking at it, you need to kind of embrace it. Otherwise, it's just going to kind of like cripple you. But I mean, when we were like starting out the record, there was still so many lyrics that needed to be finished and still so many songs that needed to be completed, that I'd go to bed and I would just hear the songs looping in my sleep, and I'd be trying to finish the songs, and it was overwhelming. There was like no escape from the art, and it was just, I'm glad for that now. It was a very intense process at the time, but I think it's made us produce our best work for sure.
And when you talk about the lyrical content, what can fans kind of expect from the record in terms of the lyrics?
It's different for us. This is our first concept record, so it's about somebody called the Poet. So it's not about like myself or our other lyricist Ben. This is about somebody else, his journey in between kind of like the gray area of life and death. And I think at its core, it's still going to be as personal as our previous releases, but it's very new. It's very new. There's a lot more kind of literal subject matter about things that are happening, and it was just really fun to kind of experiment with for the first time. And I don't know if we'll ever do it again. It was very rewarding, but this might be a very unique record in that sense.
And especially in this day and age, you took a big risk with doing a concept record. So lots of bands are taking that type of risk. What influenced you guys to take that type of risk and kind of maybe push some of your fan base away at the same time?
I think the thing that makes us take risks is seeing what other bands are doing and doing the complete opposite. I think we've never really belonged, and we've always kind of rejected the conformity of what everyone else wants to do. Mm-hmm. So you see it in 2018 a lot. The bands will release a ton of singles, sometimes over half the record. They'll release it, and you don't have that kind of like Christmas Day feeling of kind of like, this is like a brand new record. I'm really experiencing this for the first time. So we've only released 2 songs, and there's 10 that nobody's heard yet. And in 2 weeks' time, the entire record's going to be out there in the world. And yeah, we just wanted to. I think the thing that made us take risks is like we just wanted to do them, and whether they're smart or not, like. You don't start a band because it's a smart business decision.
Yeah,
so
true.
Why would you honor that at any other point? It's like, let's do what we want. Let's do what's important to us.
That's awesome, man. That's pretty much everything that I got for you. Is there anything that I didn't touch on that you would like to add?
Nah, man. We're just so happy to be out here releasing the record soon. And yeah, pleasure talking to you, man.
And where can people find the record pre-order, and when will it be officially available?
Yeah, you can pre-order it at asitisofficial.com, or you can listen to it on Spotify, Apple Music, the Fearless Records YouTube channel when it comes out. But yeah, I don't care how you listen to it, just check it out.